In life, there are two guarantees. One, Nintendo will always be greedy. And two, if there's a Nintendo console, there will be a Mario Kart on it. One of the only game series where I can confidently say everyone has played one of these games before. With how many games there are on such a wide variety of consoles, there are going to be a lot of good games. But one of them has to be the best. But the only way to find that out is to play all 11 Mario Kart games. So I decided to bear this burden so you don't have to. You're welcome, by the way. And we're going to be using the official Mario Kart grading system, GDWR. Gameplay. Difficulty. What does the game introduce to the franchise? That was a little bit of a stretch. Unlockables and Rainbow Road. And we're starting off with a controversial one. And by controversial, I mean no one seems to like this game. The first Mario Kart game ever released was on the SNES after Miyamoto wanted a racing game where you could see two players at the same time. Or if you're alone, then the bottom screen will be a map, instead of, I don't know, letting the whole race be full screen. Gameplay-wise, it hasn't aged that well. It is most certainly a different Mario Kart game. It's not really that bad, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out how drifting works in this game. So instead, I would simply let go of the acceleration to make a turn. Eventually, that evolved into me tapping the acceleration button, which seemed to help me make most turns. It was all dependent on the track, of which there are 20 unique tracks. But the issue is you get tracks like Mario Circuit 1, Mario Circuit 2, Mario Circuit 3, Bowser's Castle 1, Bowser's Castle 2, Bowser's Castle 3, you get what I mean. It's just different variants of the same 5 tracks. I'd much rather get 20 actual unique tracks. The game is difficult, so it wasn't hard to pass CPU players and make it to first place in 50cc and even in 100cc. But if you make one mistake, the whole race was basically over. You cannot bump into walls. You cannot get hit by an item. You can't even veer off track, otherwise everyone will pass you due to the horrendous rubber banding that this game has. So some of you might not know what I mean when I talk about rubber banding. So rubber banding in racing games is just how much can the CPU keep up with the player. You know, like a rubber band. It's just disgusting how strong the rubber banding is in this game. There are also no items in any of the races. You will only get one item per lap. But even though I only get one item, the CPU in second place gets unlimited items and they will abuse it. So what did this game introduce? The concept of Mario Kart, like the whole idea of a Mario Kart game. It introduces 4 Grand Prix, 8 whole characters, a time trial, and a battle mode. The time trial isn't anything special, but it's nice that it's there. And I can imagine that balloon battle is fun if you actually have someone to play with. What I don't get, however, is that every track is 5 laps long, and every Grand Prix is 5 races long. I mean, I kinda get it, the tracks are really short, but I would always finish the 3rd lap and put my controller down, only to realize the mistake I made. That wasn't the last lap. There are unlockables with being able to play at 150cc, which is actually impossible, don't even try it. And unlocking the Special Cup, which features Rainbow Road, which was very trippy and easy to fall off the edge. But overall, Rainbow Road is just like the rest of the game. Very mediocre. Like, I get it. It's the very first Mario Kart game. It's only going to get better from here, so it's just growing pains. Everything in this game feels so primitive. But again, it's not the worst thing in the world. I did have fun at times. But with the rubber banding of the CPU, 5 laps in a race, and the controls this game feels so mediocre. But with it being the first Mario Kart game, it's the best game so far. I guarantee you it will not keep that title for long. Okay, it might keep that title for just a little bit longer. Immediately, this game looks so much better. Who would have thought, but a racing game that works better in a 3D environment looks better once consoles were able to do 3D. They made a weird design choice as they went with the Doom type graphics with 3D environments, but with 2D sprites. It does look good though. Gameplay wise, they greatly fixed the drifting mechanic. I could actually drift around corners without having to let go of the acceleration. And that's everything positive about this game. I haven't even gotten to the word of the word, and I already ran out of good things I can say. While the gameplay feels fine, it is such a difficult game. The biggest issue is that I feel like this game has worse rubber banding than in Super Mario Kart. I always had 1 or 2 CPUs right behind me. Even when I was able to get a massive lead, they were able to easily catch up. The mushroom item just felt useless as the CPUs were able to keep up with me even when I'm boosting. I can't catch up to first place, and I can't stay in first place because somehow everyone is just faster than me. And this is 100cc! This is supposed to be normal difficulty. 150cc, again, is basically impossible. Don't even think about it. But in 50cc, there is still horrendous rubber banding. At least I was faster than them in 50cc. But no matter what difficulty you're in, if you mess up a single time, you are punished hard. You need to play perfectly, otherwise you will never get first place. I just hate the rubber banding so much in this game that I did not have fun playing it. Is that a skill issue? Maybe, but the game is also bad. Did this game introduce anything? It did introduce the concept of races being 3 laps and Grand Prix being 4 races, which will be the standard from now on. There are more items per race, which is greatly appreciated, but the hitboxes need to be bigger. They are so small that I would usually miss the boxes. Rainbow Road is at least pretty. Finally, with 3D technology, the track can go up and down, so it stands out so much more. However, there are walls now which take away the challenge. Like, Rainbow Road is supposed to be the hardest track, but it's still a pretty good Rainbow Road. It's just that the CPUs ruined this game for me with their abhorrent rubber banding. I did not have fun playing this game, so it is the worst Mario Kart game on the list. I am not even going to put it in second place. There's no way there's another game as bad as this one. But like, when does Mario Kart get good? Mario Kart Super Circuit released on the Game Boy, so it can't do 3D graphics. So it goes back to how Super Mario Kart looked. Not only does it look like Super Mario Kart, it basically is Super Mario Kart, but with updated graphics and mechanics, so we can speed around through the good door because of how similar it is. Gameplay, same as Super Mario Kart. Difficulty, honestly, a little bit easier. There's less rubber banding in 100cc. What did this game introduce? It actually introduced the Lightning Cup, so this is the first Mario Kart with more than 4 cups. Unlockables, nothing. And Rainbow Road is better than in Super Mario Kart with more shortcuts, but it's so easy to fall off this track. Also, I don't know who this is, but this doesn't sound like Luigi. That's not my Luigi, but like I said, it's just Super Mario Kart. But I guess because of the updated graphics and mechanics, it's better than Super Mario Kart, putting it in first place. But man, I'm getting tired of this. I want more from a Mario Kart game. I want double the items. I want double the drivers. I want double the death. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is the first Mario Kart game that feels modern. They are really starting to perfect the mechanics of this game. Finally, everything is in 3D along with the characters. All of the characters in this game have these glossy textures, giving them a unique but not so good look. You might be asking me, what's wrong with Mario being a little too glossy? Do I look good all of a sudden? I guarantee you I don't, because I no longer give off that cartoony, family-friendly feel, which is what Mario is supposed to be. So let's start off with what did this game introduce, just to get rid of the elephant in the room. There are 2 drivers per kart now, and you can switch between the 2 at any time. Now this is peak gameplay. Driving itself doesn't change between the drivers, but both drivers can hold on to an item now, which adds a bit of skill to the game. So say you have a really good item and you don't want to use it yet, then you can change drivers so that you can still pick up a different item while holding on to the good one, as you need to figure out when is the perfect time to use a specific item. Outside of items, having 2 drivers serves no purpose at all. It's just a cute idea, but it makes Double Dash unique. Gameplay wise, this is the best feeling Mario Kart game so far. The drifting feels good and the turning feels tight. 50cc was easy and there's nothing wrong there, but in 100cc, I felt like I physically couldn't catch up to first place no matter what I did. It's the same way in 150cc. Nothing I did could make me catch up to first place. But once I was in first, I stayed there and no one could catch up to me. Why I couldn't catch up to first is mostly because of item punishment. So you recover quickly after being attacked, which is great. That means you get back to the action a lot faster. but the CPUs also recovered quickly, meaning when I'm in second and hit first place with a red shell, I wouldn't pass them because they recovered too quickly. I feel like I hit them with skill that I used, and I'm not rewarded for it. There are actual unlockables in this game. So many cars to unlock and even unlockable characters. And this is the best Rainbow Road by far, with so many twists and turns. Parts that lack walls so you can fall off. Even a launch pad on top of looking so beautiful, just an amazing Rainbow Road. Overall, this is the best Mario Kart game by far. It's not even a competition, just blows its predecessors out of the water. I just wish I could play a mobile Mario Kart game.
What about Mario Kart Super Circuit?
Mario Kart Super Circuit sucks. I want a real mobile Mario Kart game now that the games are actually getting good. These are the best graphics I have ever seen. I know it's old, but I'm a big fan of the low poly look, especially Rainbow Road, which added loop-de-loops to the game. I love loop-de-loops. The game also plays really well, especially for a DS game. They changed the drifting again, but I think they changed it for the better as it actually requires a bit more skill to use. So in order to get a drift boost, you need to start drifting, then alternate between left and right until you charge up your boost. It involves more inputs, but you are rewarded with a boost. The items do actually punish the racers now, like I'm able to hit someone in front of me and actually pass them. But the boxes still need a bit more work, mainly just having them respawn faster. The issue is, the game is really difficult.
Skill issue.
Shut up, he is right though, it is a skill issue. But don't worry, I'll get good at Mario Kart soon. 50cc was easy enough, but somehow I was struggling on 100cc. 150cc was just impossible, don't even think about it. It has the same issue that Double Dash had, where I had difficulty catching up to first place. But once I was in first, I stayed in first. I also felt extremely unlucky in this game because whenever I was in second place or lower, I just felt like I was getting bombarded with items and couldn't catch up to first. But in first, nothing ever happened to me. So it's just the rich stay rich while the poor keep bringing each other down. That got a little too deep. Rob's here. As for what the game introduces, it brings— okay, hold on. I don't want this to just be a throwaway joke. I mean, Rob here, as an unlockable character, is revolutionary. He's the first non-Mario character in a Mario Kart game. The game introduces a lot. There are 8 total cups in this game, the most in the series so far. The way they have so many cups is because they introduced these retro cups. Cups that only consist of tracks from previous games, and this will become another staple in the Mario Kart series. The issue with these tracks, however, are that they didn't update the retro maps at all. Graphically, yeah, they updated that, but they still have issues. For example, the SNES ones only have one place to get an item box. They just don't feel like they fit in with the new tracks. Drat boosting was also introduced in this game, where if you hang behind someone for long enough, their drat will boost you forward. Too bad I was never able to pull it off, so I don't have any footage of it, but trust me, it's here. Finally, the game introduces missions for you to do. These are just little challenges for you to do, and there's even a boss at the end. These missions are an amazing addition to the game. There were so many things introduced in this game. It is arguably the most influential Mario Kart game ever made, and that's what puts it in the first place right now. The next game is Mario Kart Wii. I'll just move it down to second. This is the first time a Mario Kart game actually felt like a modern Mario Kart game. The drifting is better as they changed it again, so that if you drift for long enough, then you get a boost. This is how it is in the modern game, so finally, I can be good at Mario Kart. The tracks also feel bigger now, so I'm able to make these turns a lot better. Even the retro tracks feel bigger, and they finally updated them a bit. Retro cups have more items in it now, but they still don't really fit in with the modern tracks. Modern tracks have ramps everywhere because they want you to use the jump boost, but they didn't add anything new to the retro cups. Speaking of jump boosts, those are introduced in this game. Did you like that transition? Did you know I'm a YouTuber? Did you know you should hit subscribe? Finally, there are so many ways to gain a boost so that you can get ahead of your opponents. But if you really want to be faster, then you have bikes. Bikes are faster than karts, and you're able to pop a wheelie in order to gain a boost. You just don't get a big drift boost that you get with karts. And for once, the game's difficulty was challenging but rewarding. I felt like I could play at any difficulty without the thought of, this is impossible. 50cc is so easy. Like, imagine easy? That's 50cc. There is no rubber banding at 50cc. but there is rubber banding at 100cc. The same goes for 150cc, but the game just feels like it's luck-based. It greatly depends on what items the CPUs get. There are some times that I'm able to use my skill to catch up, but it just seemed like I got bombarded with items on the last lap on the last turn, and there's no invincibility, so you can get hit back to back. And there's this cloud item in the game that will shrink you unless you pass it to another player. This doesn't need to be in the game, Nintendo just hates you. Once again, there are plenty of unlockables, and the Rainbow Road is great. Very twisty, very turny, very dangerous, everything you want in a Rainbow Road. Other than that, battle mode is now team-based only. There is no more free-for-all. At least Balloon Battle is fixed again, but Coin Runner sucks now. Again, it all goes down to luck, because the enemy team could use a POW block at the very end to just get rid of my team's coins and win. It's hard to say that this is the best Mario Kart game, because on one hand, this is the funnest Mario Kart game, but on the other hand, DS had more content. So I'm going to keep DS in first place. Both of them are incredibly fun games, but DS had missions for you to do. I really enjoyed doing these missions. Hopefully the next game can bring them back. They don't bring it back, they introduce gliders. Yeah, that's a big mechanic of this game, along with being able to drive underwater. But for it being the new mechanic that they introduced, not a lot of maps really utilize it, like they're not showing it off. There are these continuous tracks where you don't go around in a loop. You just keep going forward for all 3 laps. I had the most fun on these tracks. They're my favorite kind of track, so it's cool to see that they were introduced in this game. You can also drive in first person now, which is completely useless and I never used it. They brought the coins back to the tracks and they actually affect your speed now. For every coin you collect, it increases your top speed up to 10 coins. But the biggest mechanic that they added is complete kart customization. You can customize the carts, wheels, and gliders to get the stats that you want. This is the best thing that they introduced, because finally you can play any character you want in any way you want. I want a medium character but with more traction. I want a heavier character but with more speed. You can have that now. Sure, there's still a best character, but you can pick whoever you want and play on whatever difficulty and still win races. Gameplay-wise, this is the most polished Mario Kart game to date. They perfected everything here, and they will only be fine-tuning everything from now on. Balloon Battle was changed, so it's no longer trying to live the longest, but to pop the most balloons, which is nice. And Coin Runners is so much better when I'm not on a team. This is the best Rainbow Road. I know I keep saying that, but I mean it this time. They just keep making Rainbow Roads better. In this one, you drive on the rings of Saturn and drive on the moon. It's so much more than just a road made of rainbows. For unlockables, everything kart related gets unlocked by collecting coins, which is nice. It influences the player to collect as many coins as possible while positively affecting them since it makes them go faster. But for characters, everyone is locked behind 150cc, which is awful. Like, not one character is locked behind 100 or 50cc? Why am I forced to play 150 to unlock people? Yes, in other games, you had to play the higher difficulties to unlock every character, but at least there were more characters behind the lower difficulties. And it's the most obscure Mario characters I've ever seen. Why is Honey Queen here? Now you might have noticed I've been jumping around the good to work grading system, avoiding the D. That's because the game is abhorrently difficult. It's not that the game is actually difficult. It's just that this is the unluckiest Mario Kart game I've ever played. Playing this, I felt like I couldn't go 2 seconds without being hit by a random shell or being knocked off the track, and after rewatching my gameplay, I was right. I just kept getting hit by multiple items in a row. There is still no invincibility frames, so I can get hit by lightning, then hit my own dropped banana, and be punished twice. This is the first game where I can get hit by a blue shell while not in first place. Every other game had it right, where the shell flew overhead and only hit the player in first. But not here. It flies on the ground, so everyone can get hit by it on its way to first. I always felt like I got useless items while in second. I kept getting the Tanuki Leaf, which is just completely useless. It does nothing. The game just feels luck-based. That's it. Whether I won or lost a race was all based on luck. And this is the first Mario Kart game where I wish I was playing any of the other games. Do you know how bad you need to mess up for someone to say, gee, I wish I was using an inferior product? Again, by technicality, this is the best and most well-polished Mario Kart game. But I'm going to rank it low. This is an actual note I wrote down while playing this game. Do not rank this high. This needs to be abysmally low. I need this to insult people. I want people to see how low I rank this game and for them to immediately hate me, because this game does not deserve love. This game does not deserve praise. This game does not deserve anything because it is bad. So it's going to be put into last place. Now, it is better than the first 3 games, but I am going to be ranking it lower than Double Dash. Why? Because I will never forget my experience with Double Dash. I will never forget my experience with Mario Kart Wii. I will never forget my experience with Mario Kart DS. Mario Kart 7 is forgettable, and I need to listen to myself, so it's going to be ranked low. But now, we're finally getting to the good game, excuse my bias. But before that, I want to talk about the forgotten mobile game, Mario Kart Tour. Most people don't think about Mario Kart Tour when you talk about Mario Kart as a series. It's just a product of a forgotten time when Nintendo tried making mobile games. Gameplay-wise, this is so easy. Even at 150cc, it is so simple. The game auto-accelerates for you because, you're on a mobile phone, so all you have to do is steer. Drifting is easy. You just swipe in the direction you want to drift. Everything has been simplified to work on a mobile phone. But the way Grand Prix works now is different. So Cup is only 3 races and 1 challenge, along with the races only being 2 laps now. But in the races themselves, placement doesn't matter in the slightest. All that matters are points. Yes, getting first will get you a lot of points, but if you're doing combos like crazy, you'll be fine. Combos are fun to do as well. It felt great to keep a combo going by doing things like jumping, collecting a coin, boosting. It's actually fun trying to get the highest combo to get the most points. What I don't like about this game is that you need specific characters to actually get a good score. So, characters on specific tracks can get 3 items per item box, helping you get a better score. You just need to unlock them first. So, how do you unlock characters? Through the gacha mechanic, or just spending money to buy them. For those who don't know what a gacha mechanic is, it's just gambling, but you win pretty characters instead of more money. I really don't like this. It is a scummy move to charge people money for a character that they might really want. While in other games, it would have just been beat this Grand Prix to unlock them. Now, I was able to get a lot of good characters without spending real money, by just kind of saving up until I saw a character that I actually wanted. But this is the biggest character roster ever in a Mario Kart game. You got characters like Mario, Mario Classic, Mario King, Mario Black Suit, Mario Racing. These are actual characters in the game. Yeah, it's the biggest roster ever, but it's just Mario over and over again. The game doesn't introduce anything new, really. There are new tracks based off of real-world cities, which is cool. The game is also playable both vertically and horizontally, and both of them are good, especially playing it vertically. It was better than I expected. The game itself is fine. It's just a very simplified Mario Kart game. So let's see. I talked about the difficulty, the gameplay, the unlockables. Rainbow Road! Let's see how Rainbow Road is. There's no Rainbow Road. So this is a little bit awkward, but I don't have a transition to the next quote-unquote 2 games. I mean, they're basically the same game. I'll get to the differences later, but here's the transition to Mario Kart 8. This is peak Mario Kart gameplay. I'm not even going to try and hide my bias at all. I guess it's because I no longer felt unlucky like I did in Mario Kart 7 that makes me think this is the best game ever. Yeah, sure, there was once or twice where I got hit by multiple items, but it was never a constant thing, and I actually felt like skill matters in this game. Not to mention, there are finally invincibility frames, which helps out tremendously. The tracks are a lot wider now, allowing for easier and better drifts. They even actually modernized the retro tracks. They no longer feel like their old selves anymore. They feel like they belong side by side with the modern tracks. I love visiting the retro tracks now and remembering how they were in their original games and just thinking, wow, Mario Kart 8 version is so much better. So 50cc is a snooze fest as well as 100cc. 150cc feels fair, but there's a new difficulty with 200cc, which is ridiculously fun. It is extremely difficult, but I never took it seriously, so I just had fun with it. As for new mechanics, they introduced Zero G, but it's not too noticeable, unless you're climbing on walls. And unlocking characters in these games is the best in the series. All you need to do is get gold in any Grand Prix at any difficulty, and you will randomly unlock a character. This is so much better than locking a character behind a specific difficulty. The only thing I'm disappointed about was the Rainbow Road. It just seemed kind of dull, especially compared to Mario Kart 7. The remake of Mario Kart 64 Rainbow Road was honestly better. But are Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe different games? Yes. Drastically different, like you wouldn't believe. Gameplay-wise, sure, they're the same. But the Wii U version has such a horrible battle mode. There's only balloon battle, and there are no battle arenas. You fight on the actual tracks. Why? Every single other Mario Kart game always had arenas for players to fight on. Why, all of a sudden, are there no arenas? It just doesn't make sense. Luckily, 8 Deluxe fixes this issue by having arenas again, and even different and new battle modes. The Wii U version also has such a small character roster compared to Deluxe, but they made it up with DLC characters. And you have special DLC characters. You have Links from Zelda's, you have Inklings from Sploons, you have Villagers from Animal, heck, Animal from Crossing. This is the most diverse roster in any Mario Kart game. And I much rather prefer this than just sheer amount of Marios they could fit in. There's a Legend of Zelda track, an Animal Crossing track, and a Splatoon arena. It's so cool to see these non-Mario games represented in Mario Kart. The other big difference is that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has double the content that the Wii U version has. There are 24 cups totaling at 96 different tracks. Double items are back, adding more strategy to the game, and the item boxes respawn basically immediately, meaning now it's easier to get items. But because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just a better game overall and has a tremendous amount of content, it is easily the best Mario Kart game. But while Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U plays really well, I'm going to have to put it into 6th place because of how badly they messed up the battle mode. Every other Mario Kart game had a competent battle mode, but at least it plays better than the first 3. And now it's time I came clean. Guys, I am sorry, but the title is clickbait because I never play Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. This was just a small gimmick that Nintendo did to make a Mario Kart toy where you can design your own tracks using a real RC car. You would then race around your house or wherever you set up the track using your Switch to control the RC car. And I guarantee you, it would have been a fun gimmick for 5 minutes, and then I would have gotten bored of it because I'm not 8 years old. But Nintendo stopped selling this, and now they go for such a high price, and I couldn't bring myself to spending that kind of money for a video when the videos don't even make me money. So I hope you guys understand why I didn't want to spend $120 on something that I'm only going to use for this video and then never again. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to spend $550 pre-ordering the Switch 2 so that I could play Mario Kart World. Man, you know what I don't like? Being confounded by tracks. I just wish there was a way to go into the world and then... I cannot believe we got Grand Theft Mario before GTA 6. I wish I knew what GTA stood for. Of course, the biggest thing they added to the series is the free roam. You can go anywhere on the map. You want to drive to a track? Go ahead and do it. You want to explore parts of a track that you never had access to? You can do that. Do you want to see what's in the middle of nowhere? Go ahead and find out what's there. And you're not going to believe what's out in the middle of nowhere. That's right, nothing. The world just kind of feels empty. Yes, they brought missions back, which is amazing, and they can be found everywhere. However, there's a lot more stuff to do in the tracks. So it's not really worth it to explore the whole world, but it's extremely worth it to explore every inch of a track. Free roam is amazing. I just wish the world was filled with more stuff. Like how Mario Kart DS had boss battles. I wish there were missions where you had to fight a boss. Maybe there is and I haven't found it yet, but it's looking like there's not. They also added rail grinding and wall driving, which are neat and looks really cool, but sometimes it's just faster to stay on the track. And man, did they change Grand Prix a lot. So the Grand Prix is still 4 races long, but you drive to the next track. It's weird, so let me just take you through what a normal Grand Prix looks like. The first race is a normal 3-lap race. Nothing changed there. But starting on the second race, the entire race is driving to the next track and then doing 1 lap at said track. Then you drive to the next track and do 1 lap and again until the Grand Prix is over. It is really different, but I found it to be really cool and fun. But if you like a certain track, then you can play that track normally, 3 laps in all, in versus mode. And these tracks are the best tracks ever in the Mario Kart game. All the new ones are so creative and grand, and the retro tracks fit in so well that they are actually completely unrecognizable from how they originally were. And Rainbow Road. Oh my goodness, Rainbow Road is stunning. It is massive with 4 different sections that stand out so much from each other. It is as if you're playing on 4 different tracks. Easily the best Rainbow Road they made so far. But this is the game that just keeps on giving, as there's another new game mode with Knockout Tour. And man, is it rough. Knockout Tour is like a Grand Prix where you drive to the next track. But unlike Grand Prix, you just don't stop. At every checkpoint, a certain number of players gets eliminated, hence the name, Knockout Tour. Yeah, that took me a couple hours to figure that one out, and man is it an endurance test. Each Knockout Tour takes about 10 minutes, and you need to be paying attention for the entire time. To some of you, that doesn't sound so bad, but while you're playing it, it feels like it takes so much longer. It is fun, however. But only if I win. Do you realize how much it sucks to play a Knockout Tour, do great the entire time, but then get hit at the last turn and lose the gold? It feels like I just wasted 10 minutes and it really sucks. And this transitions nicely into talking about the game's difficulty. So it's either one of 2 things. Either I am the unluckiest Mario Kart player to have ever walked the face of Earth, or they default this game into being difficult again. I just don't get it. It doesn't help that they got rid of kart customization, so now I can't play any character any way I want. I was struggling to catch up to first place again, especially in 150cc. Once again, I felt like I was being hit by items left and right and there was nothing I could do. And it was always at the final turn, so it would just ruin everything. They were doing so good with Mario Kart 8. I'm just dumbfounded as to why they would go back to how difficult the older games were. Is it a skill issue? No. I'm the best Mario Kart player to have ever lived. Just ask Grizzly.
On God, he sucks.
The game still plays extremely well, with a lot more jump boosts happening all around. You can jump on a railing and get a boost, or do multiple tricks in the air and get a boost, or you can jump and get a boost. Unlockables are weird because either it's the easiest thing in the world or it's all based on luck. So for main characters, you unlock them by beating a Grand Prix. That's totally normal and fine. But each character now has different costumes that you unlock by eating different types of food. Now, you could spend 2 hours driving all around the free roam area with each character to unlock all their outfits. Or you can just naturally unlock them by doing races. It's entirely up to you if you want to make unlocking them repetitive or not. But for the minion characters, you can only unlock them by getting hit by the Kamek spell, which is horrible. It's entirely up to luck to have an enemy behind you get the item and then use the item on you. There were times where the enemy would use the item in front of me, so I didn't get affected by it and I didn't unlock a character. And even if they do use the item on you, it is not a guarantee that you will get a new character. You might get a character you already have. I just want to unlock everybody, but I had to rely on computers or other players around the world to work with me, and it just never works out. I know it might sound like I don't like this game. Quite the opposite. I love Mario Kart World. Sure, there are things that annoy me, but I'm having so much fun with this game, and I keep finding myself coming back to play it more. Especially with how good this game looks, and all of the new modes introduced. There is so much to do in this game. But even though the game looks beautiful and introduces so much stuff, I'm going to put it into second place. Why? Because the computers annoyed me. Other players annoyed me. The game itself annoyed me. I never got annoyed with Mario Kart 8, I'm just saying. But that's every Mario Kart game out right now, with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe all the way in first place, and Mario Kart Tour trailing down at the bottom. It was interesting playing all of these games and watching them introduce new mechanics one by one until we get to what we have with today. And it was tremendous fun playing all of these games. Mario Kart is a lot like pizza. When it's good, it's great. But when it's bad, it's still pretty good. set for you. But what do you guys think? What is your favorite Mario Kart game? Let me know down below in the comments. Unless it's Mario Kart 64, then I don't want to hear it, and I immediately hate you. I'm kidding. It's just a joke. It's just a little joke. It's just a joke. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you saw, you should hit that subscribe button. I would like to thank all of my Patreons, and you should check out another one of my videos. They're pretty good.